A few months ago, we were in a staff meeting, and we were discussing our senior pastor's upcoming retirement. And in that meeting, I became overcome with worry and doubt, wondering what his retirement would do for my position at the church and how it would affect our congregation. I was overcome with this worry, and as I left the meeting to pick up my son from preschool, I was distracted, not paying attention to what I was doing, and so I ended up being pulled over for speeding. And maybe you're like me, you're just worried. You're worried about what this transition will look like. And maybe you've heard the horror stories about how bringing in a new senior pastor, the whole search process, can cause division in the church, how there's a faction of the church who wants things to stay the same, and there's a faction that wants things to change, and so these two factions begin warring with each other. Or perhaps you heard how different staff members might jockey for power positions so that when a new pastor will come along, that they will find a prominent place in the new regime. Or maybe you've heard about how a new pastor might come in and just cause chaos. They start frustrating the staff and mixing things up, and then they leave with the church left in shambles. One of the great things about being a part of the Presbyterian Church USA is that the denomination has set up certain protocols to help a congregation through the transition process. One of the first things they do is they ask a congregation to develop a mission study report. And this report creates a picture of who that congregation is. It talks about who they are in relationship to their surrounding community and how this congregation is living out God's mission in our world. And then this document is given to the search team to evaluate possible candidates, and so that they can discern who God is calling to be our next senior pastor. And as part of developing this report, I was asked to design a special program called Ready, Set, Grow. And these are small group gatherings where we come together to share the stories of our past. And we talk about how God is guiding us in our present. And we also come together to seek God for our future decisions. But as the person who designed this program, I want to share with you a few things. First, these are not gripe groups. They're growth groups. They're not designed so we can come together and complain about all the problems of our church and offer potential solutions. They're designed so that we can come together and grow in faith and friendship. These groups aren't designed for us to dwell in our past, but to seek God for our future. As we look at our past, we are seeking God for our future. And as we discuss where we are presently, we are seeking God for our future. And as we think about what would make a great new senior pastor, all of that is done with seeking God's direction. And these groups are also not designed to collect data, but to build community. We're not hoping to get some statistical analysis from our groups, but we're really wanting our groups to connect with each other, to share their stories, and to strengthen the bonds that they have with each other. I want each and every person who's actively involved in San Pedro Presbyterian to join a Ready, Set, Grow group. These groups will help strengthen our community. As we share our stories, we understand how God has been alive in our church, and as we connect those stories, it will help deepen our love for our congregation. What makes San Pedro Presbyterian so unique is its congregation. There's no other congregation like ours because we have you. These groups then will help us, unify us as we seek God's direction for our new senior pastor. We want to be able to move forward together. These groups will meet for 4 weeks, starting the week of September 8th, and they'll meet at various places and days and times throughout the week. So as a staff member and as a church member, I'm saying that we need you. We need you to strengthen our church by lending your voice and sharing your story. We need you to strengthen our church by unifying our congregation. And we need you to strengthen our church as we seek God's direction together.